Okay, this is the Power Linguist, Christophe Clugston. This is a language learning, foreign language learning, and linguistics video. It's been a while since I've done that. The method to do these fast videos like this is changing now on YouTube, so I decided I would put this up now. Okay, I put out lots of free information, loads, academic level material on this channel. It's still up there. You can take a look at it for those of you who really want to know about linguistics and language learning. I delve into a lot of subjects. But anyway, I want to delve into something here that's pervasive, and you constantly see this. It's been going on for years, and that's the gurus and articles and magazines, online magazines at this point, will tell you that people generally only use about 1,000 or 1,500. You see different numbers. You see from 700 to 1,500 words every day. So if you could master these 1,000 words, then you would be able to speak to people. You'd be able to get around. You'd be able to do things because most people have a very limited lexicon in their spheres of interaction with people. Well, I got news for you, people. Native speakers use maybe 1,000 words a day with certain people, but from one sphere to another, they use a different 1,000 words. Yes, there's some common things that are used. Certain verbs and certain pronouns and nouns are used over and over. However, certain nouns, certain verbs, and many adjectives are very specific to certain events. And a native speaker has, it depends on how educated you are and what you know, but in English, educated people with a university degree, I don't know about millennials, but before that, generally had a vocabulary at least 30,000 words. They could recognize 30,000 words. It does not mean it's active, but that's the thing. If you hear it, you still understand it. If you read it, you understand it. And that's a lot more than 1,000 words. So here's the problem with this trying to use 1,000 word thing, because people are going to go down a frequency thing like they're going to do locatives here, there, near, far, uh, adverbial phrases, which are they're prepositional, but almost every prepositional phrase is really adverbial in English. So on the tree, in the bushes, at the house, uh, in the bank, um, in the sky. All of these are locatives, what are known as locatives in linguistics. They tell you the location. So all of those, they begin with a preposition in English, but that prepositional phrase is really an adverbial phrase telling you the location because adverbs modify the verb. And this is something I went into before that they try to say in English, those people at prescriptive levels who don't know linguistics, they say there is either transitive or intransitive. Now, a transitive verb needs a direct object, correct? And sometimes there are two objects. And we get in now, I don't want to get into that whole area. It's very interesting. I don't want to get into that, but I gave the flowers to Mike, or I gave Mike the flowers, which is a switch that English uses that not other languages can use because you move you move the in you move the indirect object to the receiver in front of the direct object and then drop the preposition. You can't do that in other languages. But that's something about English. Anyway, my point is that there's also there are semi-intransitive. And it's like I climbed up the tree. I climbed what? It's still there's something. So up the tree, it's semi-transitive really. You can say it either way. It's semi-intransitive or semi-transitive. I've covered that. There's a video. Go find it on my thing. But what I'm saying here to you is that 1,000 words is not enough. It is not enough. If you're only going and let's say, for example, my life in Thailand, I am using 1,000 words a day because I'm not having interactions beyond monetary exchanges. I'm whatever I'm doing, I'm paying, which is one of the reasons I don't like Thai, because the people don't want to talk to you about deep subjects. In Cambodia, they'll talk about politics. They'll talk about music. They'll talk about art. They'll talk about film. They won't do that here in Thailand. They will not do that. And you can talk to Stu J about that. His level is incredible, like native level. But he's still not talking about those topics with people. So my things are just monetary. I'm paying. I'm paying to get gas. I'm paying to buy something at the store. I'm buying something to eat. I'm paying. I'm going to do many things at a mall, go to the movies. Any of these things I'm paying. So yeah, I have certain things, numbers. I know the numbers. I know the money. I say directions. I say, yes, I want sauce. I don't want sauce. I want it put in a bag. I don't want it put in the bag. Those sorts of things. So my world is shrunk and tight, and I don't really care because it's not worth. There's no ROI on it for me anymore, and I don't care. Other languages, and I've talked about this in other tapes or videos that I put up. They're more developed and more profound for me, and basically that's one of the things. If I cannot talk about Sartre or Kierkegaard with people in a pub, for example, I don't want to know that language because it doesn't interest me. It doesn't do what I want. I want to express myself and hear other people's expressions. I don't want to just do monetary exchanges with people. So that is something. For that example, my limited. Some people might say just functional survival Thai is about I'm using about 1,000 words every day, using them over and over and over. Certain phrases I hear over and over and over, but that is not the language to express yourself with. I cannot go into talking about NASA in Thai, but they won't. No one's ever wanted to try to talk to me about NASA. I can't go into philosophical differences. Uh, from Hume to Kant, for example. No one does that here. I don't have the vocabulary, but no one will do that. Also, I can't do many different things that I do in other languages. I do that in Spanish, do that in French, do that in Italian. Talk about the Renaissance. Talk about the French Revolution. Talk about the Russian Revolution. Talk about the Bolsheviks. Talk about what happened in the 1930s with Steinbeck in the United States. All of that in many languages. Okay, now come on. Since they went through the war with Pol Pot, trying to put him back in the Stone Age, they're very open about talking about a lot of things, and that's why I like Khmer. Now, in Khmer, when you're dealing with certain things on the transactional level, yeah, there's 1,000 words that you can use, whatever. Yeah, come on, these things, bong, all these things that you say that are said quite a bit, down there, plow muy, for example, I'm just saying things. You understand Khmer? It's pretty basic stuff I'm saying. But the thing is here, it will go beyond that. And you need more than 1,000 words is what I'm getting to. You need to be pressed. So these lists of trying to learn 1,000 words that are frequency is going to mislead you. And this is something that happened with the Pimsleur courses. Now, I got to reiterate that Paul Pimsleur died before he got them completely out. They weren't meant as self-didactic tools. They were meant for a classroom situation. And you would expand upon that. But he's the one who started graduate interval recall, which people have all taken now and stolen and given no credit to him for that. The thing is that when people went through those courses, they artificially seemed like they were more fluent than they were because they're very good at the words that they say in the situation. It's situational language, which is very important, and that's very important to getting good quickly and also how you actually learn. Like if you're a doctor, you need situational language for an operating room, emergency room, intake, triage, all of those things. You need that. Same thing if you're working in the military, you need a certain fixed amount of vocabulary or a certain situation that you must learn immediately. You need to know that stuff. So situational language is vastly important, and it does play a big part, but it's only part of the picture. So if you have that with the Pimsleur things, you artificially look like you're fluent to some native speakers, especially if your accent is good. So a lot of people who were doing Pimsleur coming off asking for directions, talking about small talk very, very well. So people assume that they could talk about politics and other things, for example, in French. They couldn't. They can't do it. They're boom, you know, and they're like, whoa, what the hell, you know? So you got to realize that 1,000 words is not enough, and it goes to what you want to accomplish. Now, for example, at language-busters.com, we approach all three of these different areas. I have a book on the fluent mind, the Clugston fluency method that'll cover loads of different methods that you probably don't know about, Lozanoff, TPR, silent method, all of these, the Army audiolingual method, all of these things that were used and how to use them actually that you may not know about. Then there's the volume method, which has gotten rave reviews from everyone that's done it. Everybody's ability has gone up. Now, if you are what I would consider high intermediate, or a lot of people would probably consider advanced, but I say high intermediate, and you've hit a plateau, then I have a program for that, the Language Igniter. It is not easy, okay? It is not easy, and you have to work. It's not sit around and listen to me and play games. It's you work and you do things, and there's checks on that. And there's actually, if you unlock the higher levels, you get interaction with me personally. But I just want you to know that. So I'm covering all these different levels that you might be at. So if you want an overview, the book, The Fluent Mind, is 212 pages, I think. And then the volume method is jam-packed, thousands of hours worth of material for you to do. And then the Language Igniter is you working. Now, originally designed for 6 weeks, no one has ever done it in 6 weeks. They're too slow. They're not putting out the effort. You have to put out the effort. If you want to make a new change, like in athletics, I talk about that quite a bit because I was a professional athlete. You have got to bust through that plateau, and that means a lot of hard work. It's going to mean suffering and sacrifice. But then you move on, because if you do what you've always done, you're always going to get what you've already gotten. Okay. So at the end point here, those guys talking to you about their magical things, 1,000 words is not enough to actually carry on conversations. Can you get by with 1,000 words asking where the bathroom is? How much is the beer? You know, yeah, you can do that. You can do that. You know, you know, that's, I just asked you that in Kamai, for example. Okay, you know, cuánto cuesta esta cerveza aquí ahora mismo? Okay, so you know, in Spanish, I can do it in all these different languages. The thing here is, that's tourist level, is what I consider that. That's tourist level. Yeah, it's better than nothing. And if that's all you ever want to do, that's fine. But I can take you far beyond that. And I got to tell you, to be upfront, transparent, which means integrity and honest. The word is really honest. To be honest, 1,000 words is not enough. It's a very bare minimum start. Okay, especially for recognizing. Active 1,000 is okay, but 1,000 to just passively understand when it's said to you and in a conversation, or you can get it out of, you can understand it in context, which is how we learn new words in our L1, through context and the surrounding words, which I don't want to go down all these different roads, but it's very difficult not to talk about all these other tangents because they are relevant to the entire, it's a whole gestalt here for learning. But final thing, 1,000 words, it's not enough. They're lying to you, okay? So it's Language Busters, language-busters.com, language-busters.com, the website. It's got the materials that you can get, that you can use, that will boost you, that will take you to another level, that will make you better. And people have actually started thinking in the language using the volume method, for example. All right? And you will with the language igniter also. I want you to remember that, and I'll talk to you later. I'll check out my other stuff. I've got more free material than anybody on the web at the highest level of education, of academic level out there. And I'm not getting paid for that stuff, which is why I just can't support doing that for free anymore. So that's one of the things here. That's why you don't see new videos from me. I've covered a lot, but I can't do it as a hobby. I can't. I have other things to do, and I've got to make money. Got to make revenue, brother. It's got to happen. So you can support this by getting some of my materials that are up there on the language-busters.com. And I'll talk to you later. Here from the jungles in Thailand. Goodbye. Take care.